You've always been such a loser, Erica. 30 years old and still carrying plates for tips. My relatives chuckled. My parents exchanged knowing glances and nodded in agreement. I should have been hurt, but instead I just smiled to myself. If they only knew. Actually, Vanessa announced, clapping her hands to get everyone's attention. I've gathered you all here for a reason. Next Saturday, Brian and I want to treat everyone to dinner at the best restaurant in the city to celebrate his success. It's going to be amazing. Excited murmurs rippled around the table. Everyone looked delighted until Vanessa turned to me again. Except you, Erica. I'm not inviting you. Her smile was poison sweet. They're too poor to be part of a family celebration at a place like that. You wouldn't fit in. Before I could respond, my mother jumped in. Unless you're working there as a waitress, of course. Then you could at least serve us. The table erupted in laughter. I could see them all waiting for my reaction, expecting tears, embarrassment pleading. Instead, I calmly finished the food on my plate, dabbed my mouth with a napkin, and said, I won't insist. You all enjoy yourselves. Their disappointed faces would have been comical if they weren't my family. When it became clear I wasn't going to provide the emotional breakdown they'd hoped for, they quickly lost interest in me. The conversation turned back to the upcoming dinner, what restaurant they'd go to, what they'd order, who would sit where. I quietly gathered my purse, slipped away from the table, and called a taxi. No one noticed me leave. No one said goodbye. A taxi dropped me at my building, a luxury high-rise in the best part of downtown. A doorman greeted me by name as I walked through the marble lobby to the private elevator that led directly to my penthouse apartment. As I kicked off my shoes and poured myself a glass of expensive wine, I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. My family still saw me as the poor waitress, the family failure. They had no idea who I'd become. I couldn't help but think back to where it all began. At 16, I started working part-time at a dingy cafe downtown. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Mom, I need new jeans. These have holes in them, I pleaded one day after school. She barely looked up from helping Vanessa with her science project. Don't be so demanding, Erica. We can't afford to buy you new clothes every time you want them. Meanwhile, Vanessa's closet was bursting with brand new outfits. And she had the latest iPhone while I was still using a flip phone from 3 years ago. So, I got the cafe job. The pay was terrible, the hours long, but it meant freedom. I stopped asking my parents for anything but my own clothes, my own phone, my own life. I remember overhearing my mother at a family dinner when I was 17. Erica will probably be a waitress all her life, she told Aunt Linda. She's not bright or talented like Vanessa. At 18, after high school graduation, the final blow came. We can't help with your college tuition, my father announced. We're saving for Vanessa's education. She has real potential. That night, I packed my things and left home. Found a job at a restaurant in the city center, not prestigious, but they hired anyone willing to work hard. I moved into a cramped apartment with 2 other waitresses, Maria and Jen. We barely made ends meet, but at least I was free from my family's constant comparisons. I'd see photos on social media of Vanessa at beach resorts with my parents, or skiing in Colorado or touring Europe. Then came the proud announcement of her starting college, the education my parents couldn't afford for me but somehow managed for her. I pushed those thoughts away and focused on my job. A restaurant, Bellini's, was in a prime downtown location but struggling financially. The food was mediocre,